To all the families that are joining Twinfo tonight, and I want to say thank you so much for attending and listening to this video. Today I have a topic that is very interesting those days, and it creates a little bit of polemic when you discuss to some parents, because we have created a dependency on this, and the topic of today is how electronic devices affect sleeping baby, toddlers, and kids. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Liliana Amaro. I'm a sleep consultant, and I have a clinic in Brisbane. However, I also able to do telephonic consultations. If you wish to speak to me, if you need an advice, please contact me. I do not charge for giving an advice. However, if our consultation needs to be a little bit more in depth, of course there will be a fee involved. But let's first talk. Let's first get to know each other, and then we talk about your what is your issue. Another thing is I'm going to tell you a little bit of what I do. Every week I help families all around the world, not just in Australia. As you can see, I got a strong accent. I'm Mexican, and I got a big audience in Mexico and all America, the continent. Why is this? Because I do live talks every week, just like this one, for a big group in Mexico City, and this is all about sleep, obviously, and then, well, it spreads the world, and it's just getting very good. A big audience out there. So I'm going to invite you, if you are there watching me and you're wondering if you are using enough your phone, or you need to stop, or what's the affection, what are the consequences of using this technology all the time. And by saying technology, I will refer to mobile phones, iPads, video games, TVs, DVD players, Kindles, perhaps. What else we got there? Computers, of course, laptops, and any electronic device. Sometimes they sell small video games that are this size, and kids play with it. Our culture is not so much into it like other countries like Japan or China, that they had a big rating and big usage of this. Is pretty much everyday thing for a child. Okay. How these devices affect babies, or in general? Well, first we're going to talk about that it affects every child. Doesn't matter that a child is just born, and you have a newborn, and you have a child that is 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter the age of your kid. Is simply any device that has a light emission, it will affect the sleep of your child. Of course, we will have some periods in where we are able to handle it better. But what happened? I will tell you some examples that I spoke to a mom this week. A mother in Mexico. She works at home, and she was telling me that every morning her child is very little. She's about 5 months. Her child wakes up, and then she does her little routine of changing the nappy, giving her breakfast, but then she sits her in the computer because she needs to work. So she puts the child next to her and puts her computer, and when she's watching videos, sometimes she's very entertained and it's okay. Sometimes she changes the position, but what happened when it's almost time for a nap, sometimes she put another video because she wants her to fall asleep. So she starts depending on these videos and this music or whatever applications, whatever she's using for the baby. I have a few months ago, I got a very scary phone call from another mother. She saw a video that I did about this topic in Spanish in my group. And she contacted me straight away. What happened then is that she was very concerned because she was a working mother that couldn't look after her child all day. She had just one child, but yeah, she couldn't look after her child, and she was giving her child to her mother to look after during the day. Her mother was a lady that was about above 60 years of age, and obviously she didn't have enough imagination or enough um, activities for the child to do. So what the lady was doing most of the day is giving her her mobile phone. And what happened to this child? It was absolutely dependent. But this couple not just had one child; they had a brand new baby, a newborn baby, that they were having problems with. Obviously, the baby was not sleeping, but her daughter, it was a girl, baby girl, she was coming back from her grandmother's house to the house about 7 or 8 at night time, and because she was absolutely dependent of the mobile phone, and they wanted to have a little bit of time to prepare the baby, go to bed, and do everything. They will give the mobile phone, because otherwise it will be a big drama. It will be a massive drama that they couldn't control. The baby couldn't sleep, and everybody was a little bit tense then. So they will be giving the phone. So every time they try, the girl would scream and would do a tantrum. So there go again. We let her crouch for a little bit. The fact was that this little girl, this poor little girl, was absolutely dependent of this phone, and she was also an addict already. She was 2 years of age or 3, I can't remember exactly, but she was watching this mobile phone until 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and the parents let her because obviously they needed to rest. Both of them work the next day. It was another story. They were taking the child a bit later to the grandmother, but still, like, she was a bit scared. The mother was a bit scared. She didn't know what to do, and I didn't give her a consultation. I didn't offer that. The only thing I could offer to her was advice. I said, you need to implement changes. If you don't think your mother-in-law or your mother that is looking after the child is capable to look after properly or do more activities with her, perhaps you need to look for a different type of care. That's something that your family needs to resolve, because you know that that's the issue. And it's not just that, no. She was explaining that every time she removes the device, the child will have a massive breakdown, and then they give it again because they wanted to avoid it. So it becomes a little bit of vicious cycle. So you will need to stop that. So anyway, these 2 strong cases that I've seen recently, and I like to share with you. So it can be very extreme, and can be a little bit how we start for simple things that to win time in our day. It can start affecting. No, that's how we start. So first, why it's not so good to have electronic devices? Well, first is we call one is the emission of the light, the lumens, sorry, that the device will throw to you, or through your child, your children, if they're watching together something. Is obviously emission, no, light emission that will affect especially if it's very close to the bedtime. Sometimes the idea of putting a movie before bedtime, or you watch a movie and you fall asleep, it sounds really good, but it's not such a great idea, especially if your children are having problems while sleeping, like they keep waking up or they're not going to bed so early. This is not a very good strategy. I know it helps because they stay calm while they're watching, they love it, they don't make a tantrum. But I will tell you what, after you stop any electronic device, you will have to give unwinding period. And this period will vary as well, from half an hour to an hour. So it will change. If you leave your children, let's say it's 7 o'clock, you put a movie, the movie goes for an hour. I will say the longer they're watching the device, the longer will be the unwinding period calm down, to rest, to shut down the brain, the hormones to start generating again, to feel a little bit more peaceful, and then finally rest. This affects so much, and then with this we have the nightmares, we have the dreams, we have all the influence that this video or this application or this game or however you want to call it start affecting. Okay, all these factors will count into the unwinding period. So let's say they were watching something with a lot of action. Well, they're probably very excited and they want to play, they want to replicate whatever they saw in the movie. If there is something really sad, they probably will go to bed thinking about it. They are maybe so little, maybe they are, and they cannot communicate to you, but they understand. They see what's happening, and they start getting, well, trying to process everything they watch. So I will advise, if you want your children to go to bed early, try to turn any electronic device at least 1 hour or half an hour earlier before your bedtime or before your routine. What can you do? You say, oh no, because it's impossible, it's the only way, they stay there while I'm making dinner. That is not true, because you can be a little bit more creative. You can perhaps bring a tower of books, put the books there, give them heaps of paper or recycled paper, put them a bucket of pens and start drawing. I know obviously you will be having more than one child that is there, but it's very good. I tell you, children tend to follow what the others do. If you have 3, if you have an older one, and then you have your set or your triples or your quadruples coming into play, well, try to organize them in a table and put the pens and give them things to stick. Kids love to stick things, so there are many things that you can entertain them while you need to do something. Now you're very lucky and you have your partner helping you or doing all the process. Most likely I would think you will, because well, that's what I think, because it's the most common case. But anyway, you will have a help. Well, if you're taking turns, why one takes the lead of entertaining while the other one is busy doing whatever it has to do, maybe taking showers or taking turns, cooking, whatever. So that's one very, very good thing. Why I do not recommend applications to be playing while your children are sleeping. Why? Because any mobile phone has a light emission. Light emission. I got my mobile phone here. And my mobile phone, let me look here, has a light right here. Okay, my phone can go on complete silence with no vibration. And this light, if I get a message through the night, and so often I will, because obviously I work with people overseas, I get a green light here that flashes. That green light is not so bad while I'm awake and there is more light. But when everything is in completely darkness, this light is very, very strong. Now let me show you something else. I got this little where is it? You see this light? It's just a little hard drive, but that light can be flashing all night. Okay, and monitors as well have lights like this. The infrared camera is very strong, very, very strong. So, and what happened? What happened with this emission of light? That little LED that is popping in and out, flashing constantly. Well, when someone is sleeping, I will explain you this process. When someone is sleeping and wakes up and is completely dark, the first thing by nature is to try to orientate ourselves and realize and recognize the place where we are. So we start, suddenly I'm sleeping, and then I open my eyes and I start trying to find a light. That is a natural process that we all go through. And if not, you don't believe me, think about it. Next time you're sleeping and you wake up, think about you sort of trying to see, it's just a natural thing. So for children that are sleeping, the first thing that they do is trying to look for that. If you have a monitor, they will look for that, and then as soon as the human body sees light, it sends a message to the brain and says it's time to wake up, or I feel like waking up, or I want to be more alert. Okay, that's why sleep consultants recommend full darkness. When someone says, oh, I have a night light because my children are very scared, or I need to see where I'm going, that is not so good. Because if you have, well, let me clarify. If you have made that your children can sleep with that, that's good, no problem. But it's not recommended when your children keep waking up and then calling you and they are more alert, or sometimes you find them playing already in the room when you wake up in the middle of the night. It's because that light encourages the environment. Well, as I said, imagine this. I'm asleep, I wake up, I see the light, I can see my toys, I can see my bed, I can see that I can calm down, I can see the door, I can see everything. Okay, it's just encouraging and promoting that wake up fully to happen. Okay, what happens when you are in completely darkness and your baby is completely darkness? The baby wake up, the first thing he's going to try to do is to look for that light. It's not going to see it. Perhaps it's going to keep trying, and because it's the middle of the night, it's more likely to fall asleep again. It's more likely to just go back to sleep. Obviously, we have our waiting period that is recommended, about 5 to 10 minutes, into give the child the chance to fall asleep again. A lot of mothers of more than one children, they tell me it's just impossible. The reason I run to the room and attend my child is because I don't want his scream to wake up my other child, and it's just, well, and let me tell you, yes, it does happen, but with time, the second the second child that is there in that room is not going to wake up, because they get used to the noise, and it's just when they get into a very deep sleep, it's just like it's not happening. They get very used to that sound, and it's just part of it. Okay, I know we all have those feelings that we need to preserve the sleep while it's happening, but believe me, it takes a little bit of patience, a little bit of training. I'm going to throw this word here, a little bit of training of the environment for start working perfectly. Then, okay, another reason why I do not recommend applications, phones, for iPads or devices, because they have sound. Okay, we sometimes, if let's say we're using our mobile phone as a monitor, we're using our mobile phone to play white noise. We're using our phone or our iPad to put classical music, relaxation music, go to sleep music, or play a movie before that. And then we suddenly forget to turn down the volume. What happened if we leave the phone there, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, someone, our friend that is still going out, sent us a message? Well, then you are in for waking up your children now, because everybody's quiet and the telephone start ringing, or you get a message and start vibrating, or you forgot. I am guilty of leaving my 5 a.m. alarm, and sometimes it start ringing. No, I don't leave. This is in my room, but sometimes the days that I want to sleep in, I forget to turn it off, and it start ringing, and it's just very annoying. No, if that happens to me, it can happen to anyone. Vibration. Sometimes, depending on where we have left our phone, the vibration can be very noisy at night time. When it's in a wooden surface, or when it's in a wall or something, it just makes the vibration and it just makes a very weird noise that can wake up anyone. Then, one of the main reasons I do not recommend it is because the babies get used to that. you know, the baby get used to, and maybe not so much the babies or the children get used to it. We as a parents get dependent on that, no, on that that little trick that we call, oh, I found that my phone plays this amazing relaxing music and my children fall asleep, so I'm start depending on it, and it's more me than my children, because my children will never know about that. But I know, as a tired parent of multiple children, you will be looking for something that can help you to put them to sleep. So it's it is very good tool. It's very easy. It's very handy because we all have one, but not so good, no, when it becomes to dependency and habits and things like that. That why any electronic device can be dangerous is because we leave them connected to the light source. If this is the case, perhaps I will think it's fully charged and you don't use the connection to the wall. They can fail. They can have electrical failure, and then we can then have a disaster. I don't want to go into any more depth. So there has been examples, cases that you perhaps know about it, but it can be very bad, no? So it's better not to have it. I'm particularly freak out when I have to put the vaporizer into my children's room. I always hesitate. If I consider it's strictly necessary, I will leave it. I did it last night, for example, but I make sure it's full of water. I know how many hours, and the first thing I do, whatever time I feel awake, I run to the room and try to turn it off. And let me tell you, that vaporizer has a light. The on and off button has a light, a red light that is very strong when you are using it in a dark room. So this is the reasons why electronic devices are not so good. Well, as I was explaining before, the body by nature is going to look for an orientation point, which in this case is going to be my light. By finding the light, as I said, the message gets to the brain of the baby or the children and says, well, I feel like I can wake up because there is light. I can see it far away or here, over there. So I want to wake up. And then what happens? Then a sudden process in their body is going to start. The hormone of sleep start getting minimal, and this is what is happening in the mornings. We start getting a decrease on the process and the production of this hormone, of the sleep hormone, and then we start getting more awaking feeling. Then perhaps we're still tired, we need to sleep more, but then everything clicks. I look through those windows, the light of the sun is coming, and then that's it. No, I feel like I want to wake up. Then if I link these to other habits like milk, I get offered milk straight away. So the first thing I'm going to ask is for milk. Then if my mommy always takes me to her bed, well, this is a very good time for her to come and do it. Then start, just the chain can be very big, and then is when our problems start increasing. So I do recommend zero electronic devices, zero light, because it's is the best. As well, we need to think this in a very logical way. The human body is designed for the circadian rhythms. This means nighttime, I'm going to sleep. Daytime, I'm going to be alive. I'm going to do all my activities. So if you have decided to have an electronic device in your children's room to be free to be used at any point, when then you're encouraging this process to not work so well. Okay, so they are not that bad. You can create very good learning environment with them. You can create very sharing, you can put movies, you can put something very creative, but don't depend on them for sleep. Mainly just discard them from your list of help for sleep, and you will be set in the other side. If you're listening to this video and you have a similar problem, happy to talk to you, happy to teach you different techniques and discard this. I won't say I haven't tried. I did try everything. I tried the iPad with a movie. I tried the iPad with relaxation. I tried everything because, as you know, if you read about in my page, I went through a very bad patch with my first child. So happy to help anyone. We have heaps of information in our website. We come here every month and give a different topic. If you're interested in a specific topic, I'm happy for you to contact Naomi and let her know. Happy to help anyone in this respect. Another thing I have to mention is I got a package for multiples. However, if you consider, or we consider when we speak, that just one of your babies is the problem, we can just work with one. Don't you worry, you will learn, and then you will obviously apply the techniques to everybody. I'm a mother of 3. I don't have multiples or triplets, but I work with many parents all around, and will be so happy to help you. Okay, I hope you have a great weekend, and thank you so much for listening tonight. Okay, see you next month. Okay, thank you. Bye.